I'm not saying
Hey internet friends and neighbors, just wanted to do something a little different this time. I've been doing a lot of fiddle tunes the past couple of weeks and I'm getting kind of bored with it. I don't know if the same things happen to folks out there, but something about just instrumental after instrumental, after a while I just start going cross-eyed. So I like to play a good bit of vocal tunes as well, and I'm willing to bet some of you do too. So I thought I'd do something different this week and pick one of them. In this case, I thought I'd go with a great tune off the Blake and Rice album, originally done by Gordon Lightfoot, called I'm Not Sayin. This is just a killer tune, the way that Norman and Tony do it. And specifically, what we're going to talk about is Tony's break in the middle of the tune, which is just one of the prettiest, most melodic solos that he's taken, in my view. It's just beautiful. And it's also a pretty fun one to learn because it teaches you a good bit of interesting closed position playing up the neck, the way that Tony tends to do it. And it's, like I said, it's just a great tune. So what we're going to do with this video is show it to you at full speed. I'll play along with the track. And then I'll talk a little bit about some of the positions on the neck and what they're doing. And then we'll cap it off with me playing it again, but very slowly. So you should be able to figure out things like the pick direction, or maybe even play along with that and just kind of dig some things out, because I'm not like Tony with the way I use a pick, but I'm certainly not a strict alternate picker. I don't always do down, up, down, up. I'll do whatever suits whatever phrase I'm trying to play. So me trying to describe that while I'm playing, even slowly, is really hard for me to do. So hopefully you'll be able to dig that out from the slow version. Mostly what I'll be talking about is just the positions that they're in, and maybe a couple of hints or tips about how to get your fingers ready for certain phrases or things like that.
I'm not saying
Okay, well that was a whole lot of notes, wasn't it? So let's break that down into little sections and just talk a little bit about the positions that are going on there. I'm not going to get into you put your finger here and then you put your finger there and then you put your finger here for a 30-minute non-stop video, because frankly that's just boring to watch and it's 10 times more boring to do, so I'm not going to do it. Being that it's aimed at an intermediate advanced kind of crowd, I think between the normal speed and slow speed videos, you should be able to dig most of it out for yourself. And like I said, if I get a transcription done, that'll solve that problem. We're just going to kind of look at the positions and briefly talk about each of the three main positions that he uses in the solo. The first one's about halfway up the neck and would be with your index, I guess, at the 5th fret, 5th fret with the capo anyway, which would be right here. Okay. And you've got a little D chord. Sounds like that there, and a little D major scale that you can build around it. And that's what he's using for that first section of the tune. There's only one real gotcha in there that I should add, where you've got to look early on, where you've got a bar the top 2 strings at the 5th fret with your index real quick. It's just a handful of notes into the solo, but other than that, it's just pretty much standard playing. So I'll just do that section really slow. Okay, one more time. that's the first bit. Next bit is done 2 frets up from that, where your index would be at the 7th fret, and uses another fragment of a D major scale here again, except we're starting down on this note of the scale. Okay, and it starts here, and we're going to go and once you're done, you're down here in the position where your index would be on the 2nd fret, playing a couple of different over a couple of different chord changes here, starting with a G major arpeggio. I do that entirely with downstrokes, and I think Tony does too. I'm not sure you could pull that off with alternate picking, but maybe somebody out there could. I sure couldn't. Down, 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 up. That kind of sound there. And that's followed with great lick. That is one that I would call one of Tony's stock licks. He uses that in a lot of places, especially in live shows. I've seen him do that a lot, not just in that D position, but further up the neck and using it in the middle of G stuff. Very cool lick. I'm not even going to try and break it down. It uses a lot of color notes and blues notes in it. It's rooted in the D major scale, but he takes a couple of flights of fancy and warps and adds and subtracts notes as he goes through it, but it's a really cool lick worth picking up. About the only thing I'd add is at the end of that break, he's got the that sound there. That works if you're in drop D. I don't normally play in drop D, and when I want to play this tune, I'm usually too lazy to do what I've done here and retune the guitar to be able to pull that off. So what you can do is change the fingering a little bit, because there's only a handful of notes that are actually on that low E string right here, these 3 right here. And if you were tuned normally, you could still play them the same way, but just play them here instead. And then finally, instead of hitting the open low E string, D tuned to D, hit the open D string instead at the end. And you've essentially got the same break without having to retune, which is pretty cool. All right, like I said, I wasn't going to go into some sort of note-by-note analysis, and well, I sure didn't. So let's go ahead and take a look at me playing the whole thing really slowly with no backing track, but just the entire break from start to finish. And hopefully you should be able to look at, at that speed at whatever it is you need to review in terms of pick, in terms of fingering or notes or things I'm doing, and be able to dig it out pretty easily, I should think. And that's really just about it. So let's take a look at it. Well, hey, okay, folks, that's about it. We did it fast, we talked about some of the positions, and then we did it slow. That should be enough to get most of you folks to be able to dig into this and messing around with it yourselves. And for anyone else who may be going, I wish you had the tab for this or the transcription or whatever, I'll get to it. I'll get it written out, and I'll get that posted as well at some point. But I really think for most folks this is aimed at, you'll have enough with this to figure it out and start having fun with it. Well, that's it. I had a lot of fun making it, and I hope you have a lot of fun playing around with it. Everybody stay safe in your respective COVID bunkers. I'll stay safe in mine, and I hope to see some of y'all down the road somewhere. Take care.